TikTok, with over 120 million current US users, is set to be banned in the United States on January 19th, 2025. So how did we get here? Well, back in April of this year, Congress passed a law requiring the parent company of TikTok, which is ByteDance, to divest from the company, or essentially meaning they had to sell to a non-Chinese based company by January 19th, 2025, which is President Biden's last day in office and the day before President Trump gets officially sworn in. If they don't sell, TikTok will be banned nationwide. This means the app will be removed from the US app stores, preventing new downloads and updates. So if you already have the app downloaded on your phone, it might remain usable for some time before it's overridden by bugs and other issues. The US is not the only country to consider banning TikTok within its borders. Here's some other examples of countries that have either partially or fully banned the app within their own. So you're probably wondering, why is this happening, especially given how popular TikTok is and just how fast it's grown in the last couple of years. In short, the US is extremely worried about national security. Because TikTok is a Chinese-owned company, there's lots of concerns that the Chinese government could try to seize the data TikTok has gathered on US citizens. There are lots of concerns that TikTok could be used for general espionage against US citizens and the government as a whole. TikTok has consistently denied these allegations, but these general concerns led to Republican and Democrat support of the ban earlier in the year. This was a rare moment of bipartisanship in American politics, especially in 2024. So we're about a month out. Can the ban be avoided? Technically, yes, there are actually a couple different options. Option number one, TikTok is sold. ByteDance can choose to sell TikTok to a non-Chinese based company, which would technically satisfy the requirements of the law and allow TikTok to continue operating in the United States. As of right now, there hasn't been any talk of the sale happening. Because we're just about a month out, it doesn't seem very likely. Option number two, Supreme Court intervention. So TikTok has appealed to the Supreme Court, saying that this potential ban or being forced to sell is not constitutional and violates First Amendment rights. Many say that because TikTok is not technically a US-based company, they don't have these rights, whereas other precedent shows that other companies have been granted US rights when operating within its borders. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear their case, and oral arguments are currently scheduled for January 10th, 2025, just 9 days before the potential ban. If, and that's a big if, the Supreme Court rules with TikTok, it's possible the ban will be delayed or overturned. Option number three, presidential action. President Biden's administration has the authority to influence or potentially delay the ban before the January 19th, 2025 deadline, especially if ByteDance demonstrates that they're making steps to selling the company or if ongoing legal proceedings require extra time. On the flip side, Donald Trump will be inaugurated officially on January 20th, and after that, he'll have the presidential power. He's made recent comments about being willing to reconsider the ban and actually recently met with the TikTok CEO at his Mar-a-Lago residence. In his recent comments, Trump admits to having a soft spot for TikTok and credits it partially to why he got reelected. As of today, he's quoted, "Maybe we've got to keep the sucker around for a little while." It'll be pretty interesting to see what action, if any, President Trump decides to take, especially as someone who in the past has been pretty outspoken against China's influence in America. In short, any immediate action to prevent the ban will have to come from President Biden's administration, whereas after the January 20th deadline, it will then be in the hands of President Trump. Option number four, legislative repeal and amendment. Congress holds the authority to repeal or amend their initial act, so it's possible that they can say, ByteDance, you don't actually have to sell TikTok, though given the initial bipartisan support, I don't think this is very likely. These are the main options that I see, each of which carry their own uncertainties and questions. This situation is so up in the air right now, I think we're going to continue to get updates every single day into the January 19th deadline. So what should you expect if the ban does go into effect? Well, first off, the app will be removed from the App Store, meaning that you cannot download it or update the app. Google and Apple have already been made aware of this ban, and they've been warned that if they don't comply, they're going to get hit with some massive fines. If you already have the app installed, it will stay installed. The big thing is that if you accidentally delete it, you cannot reinstall it, and then also it just will not be updated. Without updates, the app will just keep getting more and more buggy over time, probably within the first couple months, and then just keep getting worse from that point on. I'm guessing there will also be lots of features breaking and just general security concerns. Additionally, some internet providers might block access to TikTok servers, making the app just essentially impossible to use. Some people have already talked about using VPNs as a workaround to still accessing the app. It's not super clear yet if that'll actually work, and then also if there's going to be any legal implications to doing so. One of the main questions is, how is this going to affect TikTok's creators and brands? These brands and creators have put in so much time to building their audiences and their content over the last couple of years. There is honestly just so much unknown right now, but I will say I think creators and brands should plan for the worst. I would definitely be planning for the ban just to be safe. It is such a critical time to protect the audiences and the brands that you have built, and so I recommend two main things. The first is to save all the content you can. Save any videos or pieces of content on TikTok that you think will be important. This is a great way to A, protect the content you worked really hard on, and then B, also be able to utilize it on other platforms should you need to. The second main recommendation is to encourage your audience to go follow you on these different platforms. Make sure they're following you on your Instagram, on your YouTube, and all of that so your audience is just not wasted. Another good recommendation here is to utilize email lists. Email lists are a great way for you to have direct access to your audience and not have to worry about a social media platform potentially going away or banning you in the future. I think we're gonna see an influx of people returning to YouTube Shorts and also Instagram Reels. I think there's gonna be a lot more creators creating on these platforms, but there's also gonna be a lot more viewers that are interested in consuming content. So as a creator, it's really important to learn these new platforms and learn how to succeed right now so that you could ride this wave of increased interest. If TikTok does get banned, my prediction is we're gonna see a lot more apps that are trying to more directly mimic TikTok's short form focus, especially when it comes to their algorithm and just how they have been so masterful at getting in the mind of their viewers. Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts have done a really good job, but I think we're going to see people trying to even more closely mirror TikTok and what they built. In conclusion, the potential TikTok ban is a huge event when it comes to social media and social commerce, and it's going to affect tens of millions of people in the United States. We're going to be continually getting updates throughout the next month, so I'll try to keep you guys up to date as much as possible. So what do you guys think? Is TikTok actually going to get banned? Or are there any new developments that I missed? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. All right, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.